I saw this video a little while back and it was like such a good reminder. I don't think it was meant for this reminder, but the video was it was these two wolves chasing a rabbit. And I think if there were wolves, they looked like wolves, but it was a drone just kind of following this shit. Could have been AI for all I know, but it looked pretty real. But anyway, it was these two wolves. They're chasing this rabbit and they're just chasing this thing. I don't know how long the video was. It felt like it went on forever. It was probably like 10 minutes, maybe something like that. And these two wolves are just relentlessly chasing this rabbit. Obviously, they want to eat it, and I understand that's nature and everything. But when you're watching something like this, like I don't know, I tend to root for the rabbit, even though I understand that the wolves need to do that to survive. But anyway, so they're chasing this rabbit for a really long time, and like every now and then they would just kind of like, one wolf would be over here and one would be over here, and they would kind of start to converge on it. You'd think that it was going to be the end for the rabbit so many times, and then the rabbit would just do this weird like maneuver, and it just kept running. And then over time, I'm just thinking about it, and this is when the sort of lesson came in, and it was like, obviously the rabbit had a will to live, which most of us, are, inherently have a will to live, but it's like also the rabbit had the ability to maintain that pace for a very long time. So like the will to live is obviously part of that, but also adrenaline, of course, like, I'm sure rabbits' bodies figure some shit out when they're in danger, and they divert resources kind of like how our bodies do. But the reminder for me was like, am I ready for some shit to go down? You know what I mean? Physically, or even skill level. It's kind of like we live in this really safe world, like in America. I know some people may say that it's not safe, but if you think about, we're not constantly getting attacked by predators and shit like that. We're ordering fucking food on instant cart or whatever the fuck. We're getting things delivered from Amazon. We're driving in air conditioned cars. We're doing all of these things. We live in climate control houses, most of us. It's become a pretty easy way to live if you compare how we live to maybe like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago, or thousands of years ago. It's gotten progressively easier to exist. And I think, a lot of times we tend to forget that, like, just because shit is good and everything is pretty safe, it doesn't mean that shit's not going to go down, because it could, And so I started thinking, like, what if I had to run for a very long time? Like, what if I had to sprint for a really long time? Would I even be able to do that? And probably not, Uh, since watching that video, I do I do exercise, but I don't focus on conditioning enough. But when I was watching that video and I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I really gotta make sure I'm hitting like Navy SEALs burpees and fucking shit like that. Sprint kind of stuff that gets your heart stronger and makes it so that you can, if shit does happen, you can do what you got to do to get out of that. And then I was also thinking about skills. It's like what if somebody jumps out from behind a dumpster? Like, do you know what to do in that case? Like, and I do train in some of that stuff, not as much as I should, but I do train in that kind of different striking and Krav Maga and shit like that. But obviously, I should probably do more of it. But anyway, I know this isn't going to be very long, but hopefully the message comes across that, like, it doesn't matter how safe shit is. Like, you still have to be ready for the shit to go down. Like, another thing, like, what if like a building collapsed and you were hanging on? Would you be able to pull your body up? Like that. That's something that you wouldn't think like is going to come up very often. It may never happen to you. But if you're in a situation where like you're hanging and your life depends on you being able to pull your body up over some shit, you're going to wish you you could do that shit, So, I don't know. I guess the lesson is just be ready. Plus, I mean, it'll help you live longer too. I mean, if you're in good shape, you know, obviously, you know, something can always happen, but like life is just better when you're in better shape. Life is better when your physical conditioning is better. It just, your body runs better, your mind runs better, everything is better. Plus, you'll also be ready if the shit ever hits the fan. What is that cliche? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready or something. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll see you next time. All right.
Appreciate each and every one of you guys who are supporting the cause and continue to spread the love. And yeah, stay up.